Alright everyone, the main news of the day is ironically enough YouTube related for those of you watching on YouTube, mildly amusing. That is that since the Christchurch shooting, YouTube has changed their search system, and they admitted this. I mean, it's not like a hidden thing or anything like that. At first I thought it was a glitch, then people sort of showed me actually that their team, on like the YouTube blog, it's like, what percentage of major creators follow the YouTube blog? So I don't know what's going on. I mean, unless you send me an email update or something, I don't see that. And so naturally, several days in, I'm like worried about what's going on with the platform. What had happened is, sometimes I go and I search for content. I don't just make content, I do watch stuff. Normally I just go to someone's page, I'm really into watching like Razor Fist and certain other users, so I just go to their page, see if there's any new uploads, so I never get notified of them. Or check, what streams are up, maybe I'm watching like Right Side Broadcasting or Venti or something like that. But sometimes you search for new stuff, like I like darkwave music and stuff, so I try to see, are there any maybe new users uploading really obscure content, like the sort of D-list, they printed one song, 20 years ago, and literally 10 people have copies. You'd never find it any other way, especially for music. YouTube's really great. The problem is, in the wake of Christchurch, they've disabled the upload date filtering. That is, normally you can search for something, you can put in like last hour or today or last week, or you can just filter by upload date in general. There are various filters. You can filter by channel, video, and stuff. You can't do that right now. In the wake of Christchurch, they've disabled that, and they're like, what they said was, well, we're trying to figure out a way to deal with this situation because people keep uploading the video and shit. I guess the idea was to block people from watching the video. Now, the first thing I'm thinking of, why is it that people that are not in New Zealand or Australia are somehow being thus impugned upon by essentially New Zealand law? Because you're not allowed to watch or have a copy of this video in these countries. But here you can, in the United States. It's like it's going to be against the YouTube TOS because it depicts, extreme violence, blood and everything. Okay, maybe so. For those of us who are not in those countries, who the fuck cares? New Zealand is politically irrelevant. It's a nation of a few million people out in the fucking middle of the ocean. No offense to any Kiwis that watch my content, but speaking in terms of the absolute user base on YouTube or anywhere else, it's a drop in the bucket. Dude, sites want a tiny fraction of the power and scope of YouTube, let alone Google as its parent company, have told New Zealand to fuck itself, like 8chan told them to fuck off. Kiwi Farms, which is the most ironic fucking title of a website in regards to the situation, told them to fuck off. You're telling me Google can't do that? What, are your advertisers going to get unhappy? Okay, here, I'll tell you, there's a half-assed solution if you don't want to stand for free expression and understand that New Zealand is not the larger world and that nobody had a problem with killing videos 10 years ago on the internet and it never made anyone disturbed or fucked up in any way, because that was a witch hunt moralistic piece of bullshit when people were claiming that. What you do is quite simple. Use blocking according to what nation people are in. Nations already do that. Okay, people in New Zealand can't search for Christchurch, or better yet, lock down that particular search term. Christchurch, New Zealand shooting, mosque shooting, stuff like that. Like, what does it have to do with darkwave music? What the fuck does it have to do with, like, David Bowie's posthumous releases or something? It doesn't have anything to do with that. What the fuck? So I can't search for buttfuck anything? The problem is this. I've watched over the last 2 days. Most channels on YouTube right now are getting a fraction of the play that they normally get, because I'll tell you, the only group that benefits from this are priority creators. People that inevitably are at the top of the list under any search term before even recent uploads, sometimes even when filtered. Their results are the only ones showing right now. CNN loves this. Isn't it interesting that the same groups that play fearmonger and stoke up paranoia and cause mass shootings in large part by causing cultural breakdown are the ones benefiting from the Christchurch shooting on YouTube? Isn't that very interesting that YouTube is allowing them to get away with such a transparent scheme as well? They're going to lean on them forever. They'll talk to their advertiser buddies and say, you keep those search terms locked down as long as possible. Because, there's no competition. So right now, if you search for a recent trending news item, unless you're a subscriber of mine, you're not seeing my results. To everyone else, I basically don't exist right now. No shit, the subscriber growth is way down. I wonder why that could possibly be. The view count, meanwhile, still going strong, but as far as new audiences, YouTube channel's new audience is its lifeblood. You have to keep increasing over time. If you start slacking off and just sort of stagnate, your audience is literally, they're getting older, dying off in some cases or something. When you're at the point where you have hundreds of thousands of people watching you statistically every day, a few of those people are fucking keeling over, dude. And so there's nobody new joining your channel, or at least far fewer people, unless something goes totally viral off-site, because it's the only way people are going to find it. I feel really bad for newer users. Like, it is way worse for smaller users because they're not favored by the algorithms to begin with. You know, if you're a smaller creator, I guess there's some degree of protection for people that are at least at the point where they're verified. That means that they're a business account, or they've got, you know, staying power. They got over 100,000 subscribers. Okay, probably it's not as bad. You know, you've got a lot of people to share your content off-site or something, but this makes it extra discouraging. Because YouTube has already fiddled around with their algorithms with regards to related videos. The only way right now to really be found on your new videos, if you're not like a Jimmy Fallon, like a priority creator, would be through related videos, or through trending up next. Well, people are being blocked from all of those things if they make any political commentary that's edgy at all. They don't even have to be on the so-called right wing. They can be left-wingers. They're still getting blocked. So I think this is extremely negative for YouTube. I think is a huge mistake. And if it drags on, it was going to begin declining the platform. They need to take this seriously. It's like, it doesn't, you're like, well, the platform's, you know, the total zeitgeist, nobody can possibly compete with it. Well, they can if it starts destroying itself. Maybe no outside group can take YouTube down. Well, you know, I don't want it to be taken down at all. I like BitChute. I use BitChute all the time. But at the same time, when I entered the internet, I started off being just a YouTuber. I do still consider YouTube to be, you know, a really fun place to be, but if nobody's seeing the content, what the fuck? At some point, I'm going to have to make other contingencies. I'm going to have to start putting more effort in elsewhere, like just for business reasons, just for income reasons. It's going to be necessary. You're not going to, I mean, what other choice do I friggin' have? It doesn't make sense. So YouTube, please, will you just block Christchurch from being searched for or something? Fuck it. You know, it's like, you know, you're going to get pressured by advertisers either way. Block the content out. Go ahead and ban people just for uploading it once. Be draconian or whatever. Leave the rest of us alone. You know, people who aren't even talking about the shooting, like, I wouldn't even be talking about it at this point because it's no longer relevant, except in the minds of the paranoid fearmongers that want to steal all the guns away and censor things online. I wouldn't even be talking about it if it weren't personally affecting my capability to reach my audience. Absolutely. That's about all. Peace out.